Ladies and gentlemen, it's June, which means we're 6 months into the year. Hollywood, step into our office. It's time for your mid-year review. You're here with Shane and Rob. We are here for real talk. Moving from YouTube to our podcast. This is our episode number 1. And tell them what we're going to do today, sir.
Well, like Shane said, we're moving from YouTube to podcast format because we just decided it would be a little bit easier for us to do this. We've been kind of taking advantage of our local Regal $6 deal on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
So we have seen more movies. Like, I've seen more movies.
You've seen a movie more than me.
Yeah, I've seen more. Well, no, I'm just saying. I've seen more movies this year than I have any other year, it seems like.
I'm trying to figure out, like, you're at 19 if you count the 2 DC animated movies.
Right.
So you're at 17 without it. So that puts me at 16 without the DC animated movies. I've definitely seen more than 16 movies in a year, but I'd be hard-pressed to say that I've seen more than 16 by June.
Yeah.
So
we've been doing pretty good this year.
I think so. And, like I said, thank goodness for Regal $6, despite the fact that we paid full price for 2 movies today on a double feature, but we'll get to that.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. We can't be paying too much full price. That's rich people problems, to quote our other member of the Drunky Bunch. Hey, Derek.
What's up?
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're just going to kind of play loosey-goosey on this one. We're just going to start off with what we saw at the beginning of the year. We've got a list here. We're going to run down and just kind of break them down and talk about what we've got going on today. So, our first one is technically a 2016 movie.
Yeah, but there's a reason we saved it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to see Assassin's Creed on my birthday.
Right, so it was...
Birthday is the 4th of the year. I don't even know.
The 4th of the year?
I don't even know when my birthday is. Oh my goodness.
It's the same day as the Tokyo Dome show every
year. It's the same day every year. You think I
remember? It's the same day every year.
But yeah, we wanted to see Assassin's Creed. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. Like, all the games, I love them. I eat them up. Every game that comes out, I play it. Some have been better than others.
We went on a run of playing the crap out of those games last year.
That's what's funny, because that was the crappy game that didn't get fixed until like a year after it came out.
Unity?
Yeah, with all the bugs and whatnot. But anyway.
That I got for $1.50, I think, from CD RussianCamHorrorKeys.com, I think.
We are not affiliated with that website.
Severely ruin our reputation.
We got spaghetti and blankets.
And cam whores.
But we are not affiliated with that whore. So anyway, as with any popular video game, a company usually decides, hey, we're going to pick it up and do something with it.
And thankfully not hand it to Uwe Boll.
Yeah, I think he's done though.
I don't know, man.
They just need to give him the old Michael Scott. You're done. You're done.
You're done. Just they need to give him the old double tap in the back of the head and leave him in the bottom of the Baltic Sea or something like that.
So, let's see. Since you haven't played as many Assassin's Creed games, did you like the movie?
Oh, I dug the movie. That's the thing. Like, you're absolutely right. I know, like, you filled me in on the storyline of the game real quick before we even went to see anything. So, that's one of those things where I was like, I hadn't really known a whole lot about it. I knew it, the first couple dealt with the whole Mayan calendar 2012 gimmick. And then we played, like, I started playing a little bit of 4. We played Unity, but I think I played like the 10 minutes of story mission you have to play.
To play multiplayer.
To get into multiplayer, yeah. And then Syndicate is actually still sitting over there in its shrink wrap, having never been opened. But I dug it. Like, it felt enough like the Assassin's Creed that I knew. People in white hoods. Well, wait a minute, that could go dark really quick. No. But people in assassin's robes killed people with stabby things. So
stabby man.
Yeah, stabby man. But yeah, I dug it. I thought it was a really good movie.
That's good. I mean, I did like it. I like the characters in the games better. But as far as kind of being an entry point for some folks who are not onto the timeline as
Right.
much as other people are. I think it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it, and I actually want them to make more. I know some people are like, "Oh, this may not get a sequel," yada yada yada. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The way it ended, the way it kind of left it open world, and just the fact that there's another character out there that
Yeah.
you could play with that lineage.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Like I really really dug it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Michael Fassbender fan.
Yeah,
Like,
that helps too when you have somebody like that. They're like, hey, we're gonna try this new franchise, and we want you to carry it.
And really, it seems like he cared a lot about it. Like, I know as they were going into it before they ever even started filming it, he's been attached to it for years.
Yeah.
And really seemed to be like a big driving force behind finally getting it made. So that was pretty cool. It's awesome to have a franchise like that and have somebody actually pushing for it instead of, it just being, oh, we're just making this and we got either one nobody or we have a star that doesn't care
somebody
about
just
it.
looking for a payday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was I really dug it. I'd love to see more. I can't really say much more about it. I dug it.
So let's see here. The second movie that we saw was Underworld Blood Wars.
I think
that
that's
was
it.
the
Underworld
subtitle
Blood
for it.
Wars. Underworld. You're the Underworld guy. I saw the first one.
Yeah, that one was kind of that's another franchise I've been with since the beginning.
Was this the fifth one, sixth one?
I think it was the fifth. Yeah, because they're one movie behind Resident Evil because I always associate those movies together. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. But no, like I love the first one. I like the second one because they take place like just a couple hours apart from each other.
Oh, gotcha.
The third one they go back and do the prequel,
Mm.
and it was kind of odd.
That's right, because that's the one that does not have Kate Beckinsale in it.
Yeah,
right?
there's a little stinger at the end that just ties back and it's the first scene from the first movie at the end of it again.
Oh, gotcha.
So she's kind of like telling the story. And then the fourth one was, hey, don't forget about us because we're going to do a movie eventually. But right now, we just want to show off this 3D gimmick that seems to be a
Yeah.
thing at this time.
Was that during like that run where everything was 3D and it was super gimmicky?
Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like you could sit there and watch certain scenes and you're just like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that's I'm not gonna lie, that's a fad that I'm glad has died out. Like, you still get 3D movies, but I'm glad that it's not like every single thing is 3D and they're pushing the 3D showings more. Because remember that, like, you were hard pressed to find a non 3D show, like a 2D showing of some movies there for a while.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And like, I don't know, man. Like when you're sitting there watching a movie and you see a scene that you know
Was
is
shot
just
for
for
3D.
that, it kind of takes you out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think the Resident Evil movie that came out at that time, I can't remember if it was, I think it was Afterlife.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then,
that. Because the trailer was chock full
Yeah,
of, like,
and-
here's crap coming at you, and this is definitely shot for 3D.
It was that, it was Underworld and Spirit of Vengeance. Those
Yeah.
movies you can tell were just, hey,
I've seen one of those.
that's true.
But, no, it's like I said, I remember going to see the first Underworld, and I really dug it. I saw it back in college.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think I might even own the second one.
Evolution.
Yeah, I think I own it on DVD. I think that might have came out the day. There was one day I remember going to Walmart and buying, because Saving Private Ryan came out. I think I bought Mr. and Mrs. Smith and maybe that one. Like, I remember buying like 3 movies all at once, and that was one of them. Or I may be confusing it with Ultraviolet, which I've been known to do with that franchise. No, about you confusing it with Resident Evil.
So you're
I
taking
have
the
those
person
two
from
confused.
Resident Evil and putting her in a Underworld movie.
I
That's
think
not
that's what
an
it is.
Underworld
Like,
movie.
I think Ultraviolet is actually just the Resident Evil Underworld crossover. And
I'd pay to see that.
I mean, I did. It was called Ultraviolet, and I saw it in theaters and bought it.
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I'm kind of glad that she decided to come back and make another one.
Yeah,
Because that prequel
wasn't it her
just-
husband makes those? No, that's Resident
no,
Evil,
I
isn't
actually
it?
think that's a both case scenario.
Oh, both
if
of
I'm
those
not
movies
mistaken.
are like
Yeah,
a
I think-
husband making the
I think
movies for
maybe
the
her
wife.
husband made the first 2, and that's what
And
it was.
now the
She made the
producers.
first 2, and not the third one. And that's why, or he didn't make the third one. That's why she didn't come back at the time.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, I don't know. Didn't you say it was kind of like a CW show? There at
It felt
it just felt
like-
like the way it was edited. or
My problem
whatnot.
with that movie is I mean, it actually did. It was funny because that and Resident Evil did a really good job of getting you up to speed before the movie started.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though I hadn't seen one since the first one, it gives me a whole little play out. And I'm like, oh, okay, I understand where all these characters are at. I understand what's going on. Blue werewolf vampire guy, I know where he's at. Which is dead, I think. I can't even remember this movie, man. But yeah, that came, like, it did a good job there. It was kept me kind of interested. And then, like, when they go to the weird mountain people,
mountain people.
that movie just...
It's racist.
I'm from the mountains. But, I don't know. Like I said, it's the editing. The editing was just this weird pace, and it was like, we're just going to throw a bunch of crap at you, and there's these people, and are they going to fight with you, or are they not going to fight with you, and is one of them their mom, and, you know, there's a pool, and honestly, I don't remember this movie.
It was, well, see, the thing with that was, if it would have done what our next movie did, I think we would have liked it better.
What, make a coherent movie that was entertaining?
Well, the fact that, which I guess you should know, our next movie is Resident Evil: The Final Chapter.
Which those come out, we saw those like what,
a
2 weeks,
a week apart from
each other.
And with the Final Chapter, we knew it was the final one.
Yeah. Until the next one.
Until they reboot it, which apparently they're already talking about.
There was another. Speaking of reboot, there was something else I just saw that's getting rebooted. Sin City is getting rebooted.
Oh,
I think as a TV show.
A TV show.
But
So-
if Rob Rodriguez is not involved in it, I want no part of it.
Right.
But anyway, you're absolutely right. Probably until they reboot it or some other nonsense happens.
Yeah, I mean, I like Resident Evil Final Chapter. I thought it was cool
I
that they
dug that
actually were able to wrap that up, because you're in 6 movies, and
That I've
kind of
seen
like, what else can you do?
2 of, I think.
Well, I mean, those movies are their own things, and people, complain about them not being tied to the games, but it was kind of cool how they actually used stuff from the games and just kind of told their own story, which...
Yeah, I mean, you had the mansion, you had Raccoon City, you had the characters. I mean, granted, the entire series is based around a character that wasn't in the games.
Yeah.
Did they ever bring her into the games?
No.
No, so she's still just a movie thing.
Yeah, that's... The games are totally different now anyway, too, so I haven't played 7, but...
they haven't even...
They haven't tied back to...
Because I know 1 was the mansion, 2 was Raccoon City. 3
I didn't play.
I never played 3. 4 is
4
the
I
one
loved.
where you're
It's like one of my favorite
Leon
games, yes.
and you're in Africa or something.
No,
isn't
that's
it?
the one where you're... I can't remember where you're at, but you have to save the president's daughter.
Yeah.
And then 5 was the one that takes place in Africa.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I remember 4. I think I played a little bit of 4, because 4 is the one where you're over the shoulder and it's like that weird 3/4 view.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. It's one of
I
my
remember
favorite
it being
games.
like, that's one of the ones I remember everybody talking about. Like, I remember, like I said, I played the first one, and I bought the director's cut of it. I remember because I went to GameStop to buy WCW Nitro for the PlayStation, which you get to play on season 3 of Derek and Shane versus the World.
Wrestling just follows us wherever we go.
It does. You're going to have a lot of wrestling in these podcasts, but yeah, I played it. Like, I went to get the game, and it wasn't out. So I was like, I have to have a game right now. And I was getting Game Pro, and I saw that the director's cut of Resident Evil was out. It was like $30. I was like, you don't buy brand new PlayStation games for $30. So I was like, yeah, let me get that. And then I remember we borrowed Resident Evil 2 from one of my brother's friends, and we killed it without a strategy guide, which we couldn't do the first one without one.
We got a badass over here. Mister, I don't need the strategy guide.
But, and didn't even have the internet for GameFAQs at the time. I remember telling somebody at GameStop one time back in the day, they were like, oh, do you need the Prima strategy guide? I was like, no, GameFAQs.com exists.
Yeah.
But,
Step 1 in taking out GameStop.
but,
like the internet digital downloads.
do you remember that though? Like constantly having to,
yeah, it's
like they push the guide every single time.
He's like, oh, for an additional $16.95, you can have the strategy guide. Or for an additional $0, I can keep my $16.95.
Absolutely.
Be like, go on now.
My thing was always like with the wrestling games. It's like, because that's all I bought there for a while. And they're always like trying to push, like, oh, you want strategy guide for WCW versus NWO World Tour? And I was like, no. Because I know Hulk Hogan drops a leg and Kevin Nash does a power bomb. What else are you going to tell me?
You don't even have to play the game to know that.
Exactly. But yeah, like, I'm going back to the movie. I really dug Resident Evil. Like, I remember telling you, like, because we walked out of Underworld and I was like, that was a movie.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and then, like I said, now I can't tell you a lot of what happened, but I remember, like, Resident Evil was, like, non-stop, like, just kind of, like, balls to the wall, and I really dug that movie.
My only complaint with Resident Evil was not having dude who played Chris back because he was busy with... God, he's busy with 3 shows. He's on Legends, Flash, and Prison Break.
Who's he?
What was it? Whitworth Miller?
Oh, Captain Cold.
Yeah, he played Chris and...
Really?
I think it was... It may be one of the gimmicky ones I was talking about.
That's enough for me to go back and check one of those out. Like, not to check out Prison Break because I ain't got time for that. But I'll watch an hour and a half long movie. I say that, I won't. I'll sit here and watch YouTube just like I do all the time.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil was definitely a good one. I dug that one a lot. And I think that one moved us through January pretty well.
Yeah.
Our next one, we didn't go to the theater for, but Justice League Dark. The DC animated movies, I buy them. I mean, we both do.
Yeah, it's
day
like
one. I've been buying them ever since Superman Doomsday. Like, I've got the first 28 movies on my Blu-ray shelf for DC animated movies, so I'm always looking forward to those.
It's kind of like our one constant that we always go back to. We're like, oh, DC movie's out, let's go get it.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially where I've been getting the last few in the steelbooks from Target. But I thought that one, looking forward to that one because that one came out like right after they finally announced like Guillermo del Toro is not going to do the actual movie, which was something we were hoping for a long time. And you're a huge Constantine fan.
Oh yeah, like the minute I heard that Constantine was in it, I was like, they
brought your boy
get
back,
Matt Ryan to do the voice, and it happened. And I'm just like, is somebody else listening to our conversation? Because there's something else that it seems like we willed into creation. But at this point, man,
I think Matt Ryan might have willed that one into creation.
He has such a huge cult following, though, just for that show. And he did really good with it. And the fact that there were subtle references from the TV show in that movie. Yeah,
like you said,
the Newcastle
homie that plays his buddy was the same voice of the guy that played his buddy. You said they were mentioning stuff that happened in the show. I watched the first episode and I just never got around to it. I'm part of the reason it got canceled, I guess.
Way to go. Well, this has been fun. See you guys later.
You know what? No, back in the day, they canceled Viper, and I watched the living shit out of that. So they cancel shows I like, even if I do watch every episode. That being said, there were actually 3 more seasons of Viper that I didn't know about. Just because they took it off NBC and started running it on syndication. Do you remember Viper?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Viper was an amazing show. It was basically a 4-season long commercial for the Dodge Viper. But it started with a made-for-TV movie.
It wasn't the prequel to Randy Orton?
No, God. File that crap. But it was a show like they'd created this supercar. Like, the cops needed this supercar. So they created this awesome cop car. It was just a regular red Dodge Viper that, when they hit a button, would switch into this silver Dodge Viper. And it had, like, one of the big things was when they switched it into the super mode, it had a roof on it. Because the regular Dodge Viper, until like 96, I think, didn't have a roof. Gotcha. It was a convertible. And they were like, we need a real badass to drive this car. So they pull a Michael Knight. They take, like, one of the best drivers from the criminal underworld, and he gets into a wreck, and they wipe all his memories out and give him a brand new identity and make him the driver of the car. And then they find out, like, they shut down the program and something else, but it ends up like the guy created the car and the guy drove the car stole the car and created their own, like, vigilante underground thing out of it, where it was also because they lived in a bridge. Like, it was like this build. No, it was a power plant. That's what it was. So they had a secret base, and they would drive the car into it, and like it would always just be dude tools around. It was like kung fu basically. Dude just tooled around in the car and found trouble, and then solved crime with his Super Viper, and
Super Viper.
But I just did 3 minutes on the history of the TV show Viper. Join us next week at Vipercast here on GimmicksInc.com. But see, they cancel shows I like too.
Yeah,
but
but it was cool seeing him come back and not only hey, give me Constantine, but give me Constantine with Batman.
See, I remember thinking going into it like. I was kind of aggravated they put Batman in.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was another one of those the animated movies have this bad habit of they'll give you new characters, but they have to have Batman in it.
Yeah. He's your boy, man.
And he is, but it's like, go back and look. Like, we're looking at the shelf. You look at the first one, I mean, Superman, okay. Justice League, okay. Batman, okay. But then you have Wonder Woman, standalone, no other heroes in it. Green Lantern, standalone, no other heroes in it. And apparently those two back-to-back just didn't do business. So they got cold feet, and they were basically like, everything going forward has to have Batman or Superman in it.
Yeah, because that's when they started pairing it with... Yeah, so Public Enemies was after Green Lantern.
And then after a while, it seemed like after the last one, Superman versus the Elite, which was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
No, they had one more. They had the Brainiac one after
Superman
that.
Unbound.
But it's like now it's like not even Superman. Like it's got to have Batman in it.
Right.
So.
I get that, but I don't know. At the same time,
like I mean,
I'm still happy because I got Batman with Constantine.
Oh no, I understand. I mean, that movie, like you get. Basically, it had everybody in it I wanted except for Dr. Fate.
Well, it's like I think we talked about that. That's actually I think Justice League Dark is my favorite one they've done so far. It's definitely.
I'd say it's top
there.
5.
But yeah,
like I hold a special place for New Frontier.
Yeah, that one's really good. New Frontier was good. The one, what was it? Batman
Red
versus
Hood.
Robin with Court of Owls.
See that one. I've not been. Justice League Dark is definitely my favorite one of the new ones. Mm-hmm. Like after Flashpoint, when they went into actually having continuity, like those to me have dropped off a lot. Gotcha. So, like they've dropped off a lot. So Justice League Dark was definitely my favorite out of those. Mm. But yeah. But yeah, I liked it. Like Zatanna played a bit. Etrigan and Jason Blood being a big part of it. I really like that.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Like we said, we love those movies, and we always look forward to the next one. What is the next one? Is it
next one
Batman
is Batman and Harley.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It should be. I watched a new trailer for it the other day, and I'm not 100% sold on her voice. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they just didn't get Tara Strong.
Yeah, that is weird.
But it's one I'm not gonna lie, like
being held up with. But
I'm not like I was listening to Injustice playthroughs the other day, and I'm still like I know she's the one that does the character now. It's like I'm not 100% sold on her. Like it's still. Granted, I know Arlene Sorkin's retired, but that's Harley to me. And even though Tara Strong's done it,
it seems like she's changed,
for almost the last 10
that?
years. It's way more pronounced
now. When she first took over for
it was almost indistinguishable. Yeah,
I didn't realize somebody else had stepped in, and now, you can kind of tell. Like, the minute you start hearing it, you're like, okay, that's Tara, or that's Arlene. But the next movie, that's the fun one.
Oh, the next one, yes. The next one we saw in February was John Wick 2, John Wicker.
That's not what that was called.
It should have been. I mean, it was everything the first one was and more. Like, I love John Wick. Like, did I tell you about John Wick?
You told me about John Wick, and I watched it the day we went to go see that one. Remember?
That's right.
Because I instantly had that, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I need more of this. Oh, thank God, I can have more of this.
See, that was my thing. Like, I come across John Wick on Reddit, and it was just like, I knew nothing about it other than Keanu Reeves action movie. Mm-hmm. So I go into the movie, and spoilers for the next little bit while we're talking about John Wick. If you haven't seen John Wick, honestly, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube at this point, like, and you haven't seen John Wick, stop this, go watch John Wick.
Yeah.
It's way more entertaining than we are. But so I just watched it, and I had no idea anything about it. And as it starts revealing more and more about him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's just like I was just like, this is awesome. Like, I just fell into this world, and it's like, what is this world? Why do they have this, like, their own currency?
Yeah.
Like, they've got this hotel that's like only serves hitmen and all this stuff, and it was just so awesome. And I mean, he's just a like tour de force in this movie. Like, he's just a force of nature.
Well, it's like I said at the end of the second one. I was like, John Wick makes Neo look like a bitch.
He does. And that's coming from, like, I love The Matrix.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I like it pretty good, but man, I think this is my favorite movie series that he's been in.
I'll definitely give you that. Like, John, the first one was definitely, like, my favorite of his movies. Like, I was talking to one of the guys I work with the other day, and he got talking about, should I watch it? He was like, and his big thing was, and again, spoilers for the first John Wick, he was like, I can't listen to watch the dog die again. Which is anything everybody talks about. Like, I've run across a lot of people that are like, I can never watch John Wick again. And I'm like, I will watch John Wick 3 times a day. But it's like, I can't watch the dog. And I was like, dude, because he was talking about it was up for, he only buys movies digitally on Apple.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, it wasn't up for rent. It was only up for purchase. And he was like, well, I never bought the first one because I can't watch the dog die again. And I was like, that was your only reason you can't watch it again? He goes, yeah, if it wasn't for that, I'd watch that movie like every 2 months. I was like, go ahead and buy John Wick 2. I was like, just sight unseen, go ahead and buy John Wick 2. Like,
yeah.
It's just...
It was like as soon as it wrapped, we knew it was going to be a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, man, can we have that tomorrow?
Yeah, that was the bad thing. Like, you watched 1 and 2 back to back. So now you gotta wait like the rest of us schmucks.
I was like, if somehow I could have, like, that was a cool thing when you were like, you haven't even seen a trailer for the first one? I was like, nah. You're like, go watch it.
No, yeah, that was my thing. Like, the moment you had said, like, you still knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you have to go. Like, just watch the movie. Put it in right now.
Could you imagine doing the trilogy completely blind?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Need one of the little Men in Black memory erasers before he gets to see it.
That's the thing. I would absolutely love to be able to watch John. That's why I pushed for you to watch it so much, and that's why I pushed for anybody who hasn't seen it. Mm-hmm. And I tell every single person that watched, I was like, don't read anything into it. And the only movie I've ever done that with was Catfish. Did you ever see Catfish?
Never seen that.
Again,
so, I guess I'll be
Catfish is
after this.
Here's the thing: Catfish is not John Wick,
right?
But that was another one I remember saying, like, because I remember I heard that one on Smodcast. Mm-hmm. They were talking about it, like, oh well, Kevin was even like, don't read into it, don't do nothing, just watch it. And so I watched it, and it's like just letting that story unfold and being like, what the hell is happening here?
Gotcha.
That was the same way with John Wick, and it's like, that's why I pushed you. I almost wanted to watch it vicariously through you, because knowing that I can never go back and rewatch John Wick for the first time. Yeah,
it's just so fun, man. Like,
that's the biggest thing. It was so fun, and
not only does he make Neo look like a bitch, like any movie that's ever got a hitman in it is doing it wrong.
Have you noticed that movie coming out, American Assassin? If you watch, we've seen the trailer for it, because if I've been to the movies, you've been to the movies. Actually thinking about it, you've seen one movie this year without me, and I've seen one movie this year without you.
Right.
But you went back and saw the movie I'm talking about. But it's like, yeah, other than King Arthur, every movie I've been to this year, I've been with you.
Right. Yeah.
So you've seen the trailer. But it's one where it's one of those long-haired pretty boys. But it's Taylor Kitsch, Gambit. They finally let him out of movie jail. And he's it's like he's on a beach with his girlfriend and terrorists show up and like kill her. And then he's like, I'm gonna go kill the terrorists now. And if you notice, like the gunplay that you see in that, which I have a feeling it's gonna be way more subdued than John Wick, but it reminded me of John Wick because he's doing like the turn the gun sideways and check it stuff, and like, which I've heard a bunch of people on Reddit and stuff talking about. Like apparently, like the tactical gunplay in John Wick is supposed to be like really spot on. Like it's actually like he's doing correct things and using correct stances and all this stuff. And I like what you were saying about it. Like it's, you see hitmen in movies just wasting bullets left and right.
He's so proficient. Like every bullet counts, and if it don't kill you, it's going to hurt you to where he can kill you with the next one.
Exactly. Like he's going to shoot you in the leg.
He's like, oh, you're peeking or you're hiding behind that column. Let me shoot your knee so you fall over so I can shoot you in the head.
Exactly. Like, you know, he's like, playing it like the best game of Call
John
of Duty.
Wick. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, like John Wick, stay retired, and you have no problems. So, you know, clearly, out of the first 5 movies we've been through this year, go see John Wick. Yeah. Like, if you don't see anything else we talk about on this list, looking at it right now, go see John Wick. Like, it comes out Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, go see John Wick.
The fact that we go from the movie where everybody dies to the movie where it's like kid-friendly, cracks me up.
Yeah, so our next one is Lego Batman. Which, have you seen the Lego movie yet?
Yeah, that's
you saw it that day.
I watched it before I went to go see Lego Batman. Apparently, I was doing a theme that month.
But yeah, Lego Batman. That was a fun movie.
Yeah,
like I like the Lego movie better, but I had a lot of fun. Like you can tell, Lego Batman was made as a love letter to Batman.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like going through all the different costumes, like even having clips of Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and, you know, the 60s suit being like, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that Alfred's wearing the 60s suit through the movie. It was funny because I had, going into the advertising, I didn't like the way they were doing Robin.
Right.
I love Robin. I think anybody who... I'm the oldest brother, but I had an older cousin, and we played Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. And the younger is always Robin.
Right.
So I think if you're ever forced to be Robin, you develop a understanding and a relationship with Robin that most people do. You know, most people see Boy Decoy, and you know, it's like I love Robin. I love the character of Dick Grayson. Mm-hmm. So it's like I saw Michael Cera, and I've hated Michael Cera in everything he's been in except for Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
He annoys me, and I don't like him. But
other than that, he's an okay guy.
I don't even know that. Did you ever see what's that movie they made, This Is the End?
No.
You never saw that one?
No.
You'd like, because I you Seth Rogen and them, but apparently, like, Michael Cera's a huge dick in real life in that movie.
Oh, that's funny.
But, like, so I remember seeing that, and then the way they were playing him, and like, oh, Batman, and, come on, Batman, let's get grooving. Like, that, remember the thing at Target?
Oh, my God, when it was stuck on that
Every single time you walked by it, and it's right at the rest of right at the WWE section.
Yeah.
So I know I set that thing off 400 million fucking times over the course of February.
So, like, when you heard the line in the movie, it just kind of like...
It was just... I was already aggravated with it from the trailer. Mm-hmm. Much less having to hear it every time I went to Target. And, yeah, I was like, oh, no, not this crap. But in the movie... it works. He's played so innocently and silly. And one of my favorite lines in that movie is always, it's like, oh, my name's Richard Grayson, but the kids at the orphanage call me Dick. And Batman's like,
can be so cruel.
Like, that was just such a throwaway line.
Yeah.
But it was so good.
It's like Will Arnett. He did really good as Batman.
You know what? I would actually like to see one of these animated movies have him do a serious Batman.
That'd be fun.
I actually think he
He's earned it.
His Batman voice, I think, actually would be really cool to play a series. I mean, Diedrich Bader played an awesome Batman.
Yeah, this is the cat who played in
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
it's like I'd love to see Will
anybody
Arnett.
can be Batman. It's what it
I
goes
don't know
back
about
to.
anybody. I don't think Michael Cera could be Batman.
But everybody knows George Clooney's the best Batman, according to Derek.
I'll always say I think Clooney could have been a great Batman. From Dusk Till Dawn always shows me Clooney could have been a great Batman.
I'll give him. He did. He had the look.
He
Like, when
is
he
Bruce
had,
Wayne.
When he had the cowl on, though, he looked awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's just he had a terrible script.
From the chin up, he looked awesome. Let's go ahead and get that out there.
Nipple suit Batman was pretty bad. It's just that, and even the parts where he's Bruce Wayne in that movie are pretty good.
Yeah, like
But-
him talking with Alfred and stuff
Exactly.
Like that.
Like that's exactly what I was thinking. Like the moments that he's kind of just with Alfred and reflecting, like, you know, that's one of those things. If they were like, "Oh, we're doing Dark Knight Returns as a live action movie," and George Clooney's going to be Batman, I'd be like, "Sure, like let's go with it."
Yeah, which one were you talking about? Which movie?
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, because that's what Kevin always talks about on Babylon. He's like, just give him a second chance, give him a do-over.
I
He's
think
like, let
so.
him do it.
I think
Or-
so.
I was like, you could even do it with Batman Beyond. Let him be the older Bruce.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that one's reserved for Keaton.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like that'd be cool. Like 20 more years, let Keaton do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because I still think like Clooney can't be that much older than Affleck. 10 years maybe.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. I mean,
So
all those dudes have vampire blood. They don't age
yeah,
anyway.
I mean, whenever you're rich
Yeah.
and it's your job to look good,
Rich people blood.
rich people problems. So again, Lego Batman, really fun movie. You know, you could tell a lot of it was designed to sell toys, but like it was as much of a
Sorry, that just cracked me up. A Lego movie is made to sell toys.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but I mean, 'cause you could tell like a lot of like the Scuttler. Which did you listen to Fat Man on Batman recently?
Mm-mm.
Where Kevin had the idea that like whenever you see in the Justice League trailer when Batman's like my turn, and you see something moving, Kevin's like, is that the Scuttler? Because it looks like a robot that's like walking instead of it being the Batmobile.
Interesting.
So
I have to look at that.
that's I mean, we're getting the movies we've seen, but I can't wait until we're in November and we're talking about
Yeah.
Justice League.
That's gonna be fun.
But
But we did have the other best comic book movie we've seen so
we
far.
did. So we're moving into March with our number 7 one with Logan, which
Amazing.
yes, no, it was. I've never seen a franchise go from dog shit to watchable to amazing.
Well, it's like I said, Marvel made The Dark Knight without it being Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, they don't... It's not part of Marvel Studios.
Right.
It's the whole Fox gimmick.
It's Fox apparently understanding that, hey, we're allowed to make good movies.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Deadpool, we wouldn't have this movie.
You're absolutely right. It would have been a watered-down PG-13 version
In
of
fact,
it.
I think it was a mixture of Deadpool doing as well as it did and them being like, you know what? Hugh Jackman has been our bread and butter. Let's let him make his movie.
Yeah, let's give him the movie he wants to make. All the gloves off. Absolutely. And, you know, I think it's... Because that's one of those things to where... I remember, you know, right after Deadpool came out and did well, everybody was like, oh, now we're suddenly going to start getting rated R superhero movies.
Wolverine should have been rated R from the get-go.
It was. And, like, my point was, I was going, it was like, some of the movies that we got, like, I'm still not 100% certain we needed a rated R Batman Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got one on the director's cut.
Yeah.
But I'm not certain that needed to happen. I'm not certain, even going back to Justice League Dark, that we needed 2 R-rated cartoons.
I forgot that one was...
That one's R-rated and Killing Joke's R-rated.
Right.
Like, I'm not 100% certain we needed those. But whenever they were like, we're going to do Wolverine, we're going to do Old Man Logan, and it's getting an R. like I remember before I even knew what X-Men were, and we're back in the early '90s, mid '90s. I remember talking to my cousin Rick about comics, like comic book movies, and I remember him talking about like, man, they could never do the X-Men and have it be normal because Wolverine just straight up kills people and it's bloody and gory.
Yeah.
And I was like, the guy I watch on the Fox cartoon. And I was like not realizing that go into Frank Miller and go back into the comics and stuff. And it was, you've got shades of it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene where Wolverine kind of goes nuts in X-Men 2 in the mansion.
Yeah, which is like everybody's favorite scene until that movie.
But what's funny is, if you think about it, the stuff we got in Logan, remember we talk about the shitty movie, the X-Men Origins video game.
Yeah.
The cutscenes from that
Yeah.
are what we finally got with Logan.
Yeah. It's like Ninja Gaiden and X-Men had a baby for that game.
Exactly.
And it was awesome.
I remember getting that game and being like, this movie is dog shit.
Yeah. It was like the stuff you liked from the movies, like just
none
mixed
of it was,
with...
I didn't like a thing from that. Well, take it back.
I mean, like the
liked,
look of it and stuff like that. It's like, you know, Hugh
I
Jackman.
liked Ryan Reynolds in that movie.
Well, it's like you had the stuff from that universe, I guess would be
Yeah,
better
yeah.
phrasing of it. Tied
You
in
got
with
to
stuff
see
from the
a
cartoon.
badass...
Sentinel. You fight a Sentinel,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, and you get to see a badass Hugh Jackman Wolverine going full out.
Oh, the helicopter scene when he pulls the dude out and just lifts him. Oh, just...
But this one, I mean, going into it, you know, pretty certain I was like, well, we're hearing that this is his last one. He's probably not going to make it out of the movie. Some of that stuff, like just kind of knowing, like, oh, all right, some of this stuff's coming. Professor X was playing, you know, he was supposed to be like 147 in the movie or something like that. Right. You know, he's probably not going to make it out. Couple other things like that. But, you know, just, I don't know. I was not prepared for how emotional that movie was going to be.
Like, and not only that was when they announced it, and they're like, oh, they're making Old Man Logan. I'm like, no, they're not. They don't have the characters to do that.
That's the thing. Like, you kept hearing Old Man.
Crappy version of
because you're not going to have the Hulk. You're not going to have Hawkeye. You're not going to have Red Skull. You're not going to have all these awesome characters to make up that Old Man Logan world.
It was going to be a plug and play movie. Like, they're like, well, we don't have Hawkeye, so we're going to use you know, Gambit.
Exactly. Oh God.
Yeah. Or we don't have the Hulk, so we're going to use the Thing, which that would have sucked. Oh my God! I think I just made the worst movie ever in my head. But they were able to just take what they had and make a really good movie. Like, I haven't seen a movie that earnest since Batman Begins.
Since Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Know what I mean, Professor X?
But nah, man, you get what I'm saying though?
No, I mean, I call it like, to me, it's Unforgiven with X-Men in it. And I love Unforgiven.
Never seen it.
Oh, God, Rob. Rob has this and we're going to run across this since this is a movie podcast.
That weird curse of not seeing movies I should have seen.
There's movies Rob should have seen. And I understand, like, like I was raised on, like, renting a movie every 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Like, every Saturday was a trip to the video store, where we came home with like 3 movies. So it's like, I watched a lot of stuff, and my parents really had no problem with us watching R-rated movies. Like, we just got the don't repeat anything you say or you hear. And then, of course, the first thing on Monday I'm saying is lines that I remembered from the movie. I remember getting popped in the mouth. This is going to be funny on our Ghostbusters podcast. I remember getting popped in the mouth while I was talking on the phone. And I did the, let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. Because I did not understand that the word bitch was a cuss word.
Oh.
And my mom just walks over and pops me in the mouth. It was like, don't you say that. I was like, I'm quoting Ghostbusters. Like, how is Ghostbusters bad?
Just like what she would have done to you if you quoted Pulp Fiction.
Funny thing is, I watched Pulp Fiction. I mean, granted, Pulp Fiction, I was already a teenager when Pulp Fiction came out. But, well, no, I wasn't. I was 12. But, you know, it's like, I watched Pulp Fiction with Mom and Dad. But, yeah, so it's, where was I going with this? Oh, Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Um,
Comparing it to Logan.
yeah, I mean, it's God. You have to watch Unforgiven, dude. It's the whole idea of Clint Eastwood is an aging gunfighter. He used to be the baddest motherfucker of all time back in the day. And Morgan Freeman's like, look, we need a bad motherfucker. And he's like, I'm not a bad mother. I don't do bad motherfuckering anymore. And he's like, could you one time? And he just goes all out and goes out against Gene Hackman. And I mean, it's Clint Eastwood as... Oh, it's so good.
I can get what you're saying, though, coming from, like, just that description, because I just read, remember, like, 2 months back, I read Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
That you saying that, I'm just sitting there picturing that scene with Hawkeye.
I'm not kidding. It's Old Man Logan. Like, That's Old Man cool. Logan is Unforgiven Wolverine.
I have to check that out.
Yes.
But, honestly, and I think it's safe to put a pin in it, Logan is my second favorite comic book movie ever made.
What do you go number one?
It's a tie, so technically I cheat a little bit, but it's well, I guess I consider the Dark Knight trilogy one movie.
One movie.
Just because it's such a huge overlaying arc. But
I mean,
if I have to pick
I have
one,
trouble with
But if I have to pick one movie out of that, it's Batman Begins.
I was about to say this is where we differ, because mine's Dark Knight.
I know.
Dark Knight Rises I want to do what Jamie said one time, what you were talking about. I want to watch them all three back to back in one sitting and see that as a completed arc. Because
awesome,
I do
that's how we did the marathon.
That would help me like Dark Knight Rises a little more. Because I would be fresh off of what happened in Dark Knight. To go into that, I mean, you know my problem. My problem is a Batman that takes 8 years off because his girlfriend dies.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing with me kind of being soured on Dark Knight, was I liked that movie, but then at the end I'm like, they're making Batman the bad guy. Like, I was like, no.
But see, I like a Batman that's technically the bad guy.
Yeah, but I was like, you can't end it like that, and like there was no actual confirmation that you were getting a third one.
True.
And I was always like, no, man, you can't end it like this. And then when it ended, I was like, oh, it's awesome. And it made me appreciate Dark Knight better. So
I can see that.
So it might have that effect for you if you watch them together.
I mean, I don't know if I can appreciate Dark Knight even more. I love that movie. That being said, I wonder how much of that is, if you take Heath Ledger out of that movie, how much my love of Dark Knight falls off. Because that's what I watched that movie for.
Well, that's why I say I like Batman Begins better, because it's a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Dark Knight's a Joker movie.
Yeah.
So,
and don't get me wrong, I love Batman Begins. I've seen Batman Begins. Like, I saw it
not that I'm
4 times
on Dark
in the
Knight,
theaters.
because you're not allowed to do that on the internet.
You're not. You're not allowed to hate on anything Christopher Nolan ever makes. So.
People will show up at your house and be like, oh, I'm sorry, did you write I hate the Dark Knight on moviepoopshoots.com?
It's like, first off, how did you find the website from 16 years ago? It's like, don't you be worrying about my business? Yeah, I said it. Batman don't take time off because his girlfriend died. Batman's son died, and all it did is piss him off more. Like,
Batman's son didn't exist in this universe.
I'm talking about. You know what? We're moving on. All right, so our next one. Let's see. Our next one, Kong Skull Island.
That's how it sounds too on the poster.
Huh?
That's how it sounded on the poster.
Yeah, when I read it on the Skull Island.
When I read it in my head, I was like, yep.
Vince McMahon read the poster to you.
Oh my god!
Kong Skull Island.
He's fine.
I just spiked the crap out of our audio levels on that one.
Are you okay?
I'm alright, I guess. Kicked out of Gimmicks kids are over there talking about Kong again.
Screw the audio levels. I'm worried about that vein in your head. So, yeah.
There's enough in this cup to thin that blood, so I'm alright.
Samuel Jackson tried to kill a monkey.
He tried to kill him. He was tired of these motherfucking monkeys on his motherfucking island.
Oh, God.
Remember how I was going to be the one that, like, watched his language and wasn't going to, like, do much to keep our show dirty? And here I am, like, I don't think you've cursed once.
It's not cussing if you quote Samuel L. Jackson. That's my rule.
So everything I've said, I'm actually just quoting the F word.
There
like,
you go. Well, I think he actually has a trademark on that word.
When I say it, it's just there's quotes around every F bomb I drop, and then a dash that says Samuel L. Jackson, and then a dash that says Michael Scott. And then a dash that says Wayne Gretzky.
And a dash that says Shane Dalton.
Hey, I said it too.
There's a lot of dashes in here.
But honestly, I don't have much to say about this one. I loved Godzilla.
It was okay.
I don't know what it was. Like, dude, I loved Godzilla. Like, one of my favorite movie moments in the last 5 years is when Godzilla ripped open that thing's mouth and like atomic breath down its throat.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
I cheered in the movie theater. So, like, I really like Godzilla. So, I like that this one's set up more in that universe. Mm. Like, and spoilers, the stinger at the end that showed
everything,
all the monsters from Godzilla's history.
Yeah, no.
Like, I like that, but other than setting up the Godzilla world and the eventual, because I think Godzilla King of the Monsters is next.
Well, see,
and then Godzilla versus Kong.
Because Skull Island to me had the same effect that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them had. I was like, okay, well, it's a world building movie. It's got a little bit of stuff going on, but at the same time, I was like, it just seemed like another.
Here's the thing. Did
like
you
a
watch,
step to get to the next one?
Have you seen the Kong movies?
The old ones?
Like, well,
I saw the Peter Jackson one.
Okay, so you haven't seen the 33 one or
No.
the Jeff Daniels one from the 70s?
No.
Okay. I've seen all 4 of the major ones. I know they made a bunch of other Kong movies, blah, blah, blah. But when I talk about Kong, I'm pretty much talking about 33, the 70s, I think it's 76 maybe.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson and all those, which, like, and I love it. Like, I just like that story. Mm-hmm. So I dug the King Kong stuff, but I don't know. This one I liked it better than the Peter Jackson movie. It was more action packed. I liked the gigantic monkey instead of
that was crazy.
Like him being like 50 stories tall instead of just a couple.
Seem like it was kind of inconsistent though.
Those movies all the way. Yeah, like there's times where it's like, oh, he's really big, and then there's times like,
no, he's a mountain.
Like
it was crazy.
Like this Kong, if he couldn't climb the Empire State Building because he's already about 3/4 as tall as the Empire State
that's
Building.
True. It had a really good cast.
I think it did.
Loki.
Him.
Yeah.
Like I really liked him.
That's his birth name.
It is.
He changed it.
He changed it from Loki to Tom Hiddleston.
Like, Loki was hanging out with Jules, hooked up with Dan Connor, decided to go to an island.
But it's like,
where's that movie?
But yeah, I mean, a really good cast. Samuel L. Jackson was in the first of his 95 movies that he'll be in
forever
this year. There was one. I told you a few times. My brother and his best friend do their own movie awards every year, and they always film a video or edit a video of the year's best movies. And 2 years ago, last year I guess, not this year, but last year. So it was the year. No, it was maybe 2 years ago because it was the year that because Avengers would have been out. Hateful Eight.
Okay.
He did a clip of at one point Samuel L. Jackson actually saying the numbers 1 through like 8 in each of those different movies and counting off how many movies he had been in that year.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, he's contractually obligated. It's like Pitbull. He's contractually obligated to make 1 song per day. Samuel L. Jackson shoots a movie a week, and You know, that's what he's
Did
got.
you just say contractually ovulated?
I don't think I said ovulated.
I'm pretty sure you did. He's gonna have a baby with. His first word's gonna be motherfucker. You said that. That happened. I'm not gonna let that slide.
I don't think that's what I don't
You
think I
did.
messed up on obligated. I think I messed up on contractually.
No, maybe she's having contractions. Oh no. So Skull Island, that's where babies come from.
Samuel L. Jackson babies come from Skull Island.
Jesus.
All right, so our next one was surprisingly one that, like, to me, should have been terrible.
I had fun.
We both loved it. Of course, it was Power Rangers.
Kind of going from one super huge thing to the next super
Yeah.
huge thing.
I missed, like, the Power Rangers are about, it's funny because I always say I was about 2 or 3 years too old for the Power Rangers when they came out.
Yep.
You happen to be 2 or 3 years younger than me.
And there were sometimes even I was like, man, I don't know about this.
I remember watching it. Like, I was at school one day. I think I was in about 5th grade. And one of the girls that rode our bus, she was my brother's age, so 3 years younger than me, had one of the episodes, first 4 or 5 episodes on VHS. Like, back in the day when you'd get one episode of a TV show on a $20 VHS tape. And I was like, let me see what this Power Rangers gimmick is. Took it home, watched it. Because, I mean, I was raised on, like, American chopsocky flicks.
Uh-huh.
So, like, American Dragon. Or, not American Dragon, that's Bryan Danielson. American Ninja. Best of the Best. Like, those movies. That's what I was raised. Brandon Lee. Stuff like that. I was raised on that stuff. So, I was like, this is fighting, it's karate, like, yeah, I want to go home and watch this. And I just remember watching it being like, 22 minutes, and it was a little rough getting through about 19 and a half of it. There was one saving grace of that show, and she wore pink.
Everybody's first crush if you were a kid in the 90s.
No, see, my first crush was Daisy Duke.
Well, yeah.
My second crush was Orange.
Terrible. Get out of here.
But
I guess I was definitely the Power Rangers kid there for a while. I liked it. I didn't buy too much stuff because it was ridiculously expensive back in the day, and I was always like, good grief, this is expensive. So then they start releasing the Legacy series stuff, and I'm like, yes, I'm a kid and I have money now.
I used to. It was funny. I was telling my kids, my students, last year. I was telling them. I said, if you wait long enough, they will sell you your childhood back to you.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, we're living in that right now. If you're an '80s and '90s kid, they're in that. Like, look last year. Like, and of course we're gonna get into this. Those of you, like, we haven't really talked about it openly as far as anything like this because we haven't made a show in about 6 months or a year. Or
It's been a minute. It's been a while.
been a while. Well, Doctor Strange. So November was our last show, and I think it didn't go up until the show came out on Blu-ray. But we're going to start doing a Ghostbusters podcast, and you just look at last year. Even though we didn't care a lot for the movie, look how much Ghostbusters crap we got last year.
Yeah.
So, like, it holds true. Wait long enough, they'll sell you your childhood back to you.
Yep.
And
I kind of think
this year, like over this last year, you've bought so much Power Rangers crap.
Yeah, and I think they started the Legacy line before the movie was announced, and I really think.
Oh, really? It's been that long?
Yeah, because they started releasing like the old Mighty Morphin series stuff, and then they started releasing like the Dagger and Saba and stuff like that.
I guess I'm thinking about just the 6-inch action
figures. I really
figures.
think that those Legacy line had a big thing to do with this movie getting made.
Oh, you're probably right.
And
what did you think about the short, like the 15-20 minute movie?
I think that had something to do with the movie.
Ollie
getting
Shankar
made, because
did.
You can't tell me, like, you seen it?
I loved it.
The first 10 minutes of the movie that we watched in theaters. Didn't that look familiar? Remember the battle scene that's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because Saban, they saw that and they shut that stuff down.
Yeah, they were like,
They were
no,
like,
we're doing
no.
something with this
But then
franchise.
everybody was like, this is so awesome. And I swear, like, I think even dude who did that had a hand in, like, well, not a hand in it, but because he did that, they were like, we can make a movie.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock me. Like, they were like, an adult audience is interested in this.
But that is probably one of the movies I've had the most fun with this year.
It was so fun, and like I said, I had a ton of fun with it, and I wasn't a Power Rangers fan. Like, there was no nostalgia
that
for me.
That actually made me happy, because you were like, this is kind of awesome. I'm marking out for something I didn't think I was marking out for.
I started marking out whenever the Zords are running in and they play the song.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, I marked out. Like, it was 100% like oh my God, like, this is cool.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, I hope the movie makes money.
That
like I haven't kept up with the box office on. I hope it made enough money to get.
Sequel is still questionable, but they actually said last week that the toy sales alone may get it as a sequel.
See, that's because they've been moving merch like crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, that's really cool, and you know, just the fact that you were talking about how Batman was a love letter.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a love letter.
It really was there, and I thought they did a really good job of like, being a very diverse cast.
Mm-hmm.
Playing around with a lot of that stuff. So, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say anything other than I had a lot of fun with that movie.
Yeah, it's kind of, what did you say that night? Pleasantly surprised?
I was very pleasantly surprised. I went
into
into that movie expecting to be like, I went to that movie because you wanted to see the movie. I mean, I was curious, but it's like my brother when he sent me that message. He's like, "You've hit your head." Like, why would you want to go see this? And there was that part of me. It's like I'm expecting to walk out of this and be like, "What was this piece of shit we just spent $12 on?" But
I don't know, man.
I dug it.
Some of those old episodes, the bar was low.
Yeah, no, dude, I have watched a couple of those old episodes, and
the bar was very low.
They were a show. That's about what I can. It was on TV. Is about as much as I can say about some of those episodes.
Well, sometimes the old show was just called a commercial to sell the toys.
Yeah, but I mean, every show since
over in Japan,
Super Sentai
it's
is
ridiculous.
Huge. But I mean, I don't know. I think every show aimed at kids since the 80s has been just to sell toys. Except for some of them, like, I don't know, some of the new stuff doesn't have really a lot of toy sales to it. But, you know, we grew up in that era of everything we watch on TV is meant to sell me a toy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're both huge Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah.
I was a big Masters of the Universe fan back in the day, despite only having 3 of them. It apparently didn't work on my parents. They were like, I rented every episode of the show from the movie store, like, constantly.
Oh, really?
But I had 3 action figures. So, you know, apparently didn't work on my parents. But, you know, I mean, that's one of those things. It was meant to sell toys, but no, I loved that movie. Or I was very pleasantly surprised with that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting it to be a just travesty. And I dug it.
I mean, I really want to get a sequel just so we get Tommy.
That's my biggest
Everybody
thing.
wants
I want that.
to see Tommy.
Yeah.
Because Tommy's awesome.
Yeah, no, I want that. Have you heard, I think it may just be people speculating, but the idea that Tommy may be a girl's name.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, but
yeah.
Especially since they did so good in having the actual casting. Like, I mean, granted, you move around some politically incorrect stuff. You make certain that the Yellow Ranger is not Asian. You make certain the Black Ranger is not the black kid. But I don't know. Like,
I just think that's unnecessary.
That would be like moving Tommy. And like, if in my mind, in something like that, if you really want a good positive female role model, go ahead and make the Pink or the Yellow Ranger a more prominent role. Like, there's no reason to go ahead and switch, like gender switch a character just to be like, see, look, girls are awesome too. Because they are. I mean, you've got that in a lot of movies. Look at what Star Wars is doing now. All that stuff. Don't say it. We're not going to do that.
You better answer that call, Shane.
I'm not answering that call. That call's going straight to voicemail. That's what the sequel can be called. Ghostbusters, straight to voicemail.
There is no voicemail, only Zool.
But I think it's funny how, like, I want to go back and rewatch our episode of that show just to see, like, how much our opinion has changed. Because now, like, we were like, it was kind of good. I had some fun during the movie. And now we're back to, like,
well, we gave it a pass
movie.
with, what wasn't wanting to see the extended cut. Neither one of us still
Neither one of us ever watched it. Because, you know what made me not want to watch it? I heard there were 4 dance scenes in it.
Oh, man.
That's 9 dance scenes too many. like, I'm sorry. Ghostbusters don't dance unless it's down the street at the end in the end credits, and we're
yeah. Or Peter doing his little hop down with 1 foot. That's the closest we got.
I want to go to New York again so much just to go to.
They did Dance the Night Away according to the radio.
They did Dance the Night Away with some of the female patrons of that nightclub.
Ghostbusters is awesome.
God, I cannot wait for our Ghostbusters podcast. And that's a good point to go ahead. We're halfway through the movies we've seen this year. We're at a little over an hour recording time. We're going to go in and edit it, so we'll probably be down to about 50 minutes, something like that. Join us back next time. We're going to go through the second half of our list. Until then, I've been Shane.
I've been Robbie.
And this has been Real Talk. We will see you at the movies.